Howdy, everyone. All right, so this is what I had mentioned in an earlier video that I was going to come back to the rudder because I had done only one side of it. And I don't recall if I ran out of vinyl or if I had hooched something and had to take it off and ended up being a little bit short. So, anywho, that's all this little clip is about. I'm just doing the black on the other side of the rudder. So nothing really too exciting to talk about because it's just more of the same. All these pieces, such as the flaps and the ailerons and the control surfaces on the tail, it's all the same general process. Like I've talked about many times already. Um, Cut tape to cut the vinyl where it dead ends into something, or if it overlaps another piece that's going to be a different color or painted, and then I just use an X-Acto blade to cut around openings or anywhere it hangs over any type of aluminum. I'll just trim it and cut it with the with an X-Acto blade. Other than that, it's just making sure there are no air bubbles, keeping it smooth, locking it down with some heat after it's in place and you're happy with it, and using the heat around the seams where you've done your different cuts. So it's more of the same. It's not that exciting to watch, but it is interesting to actually do. I find it. It's just a different skill set. So I've been looking forward to doing the vinyl, and so far it's working out just fine. So I think that the clip coming up here in a second is more of a real time type of video, and then after that, I think it's back to a few more time lapse. So stay tuned. Talk to you guys later. Howdy, everyone. So next up for the vinyl wrap are the ailerons, and a couple of things I want to touch on before I get started with the actual wrap. So the aileron skin is a little bit different in that the trailing edge is part of it's almost like the main body, the main piece of aluminum runs along the entire length of the top. It rolls around forming the trailing edge and then is also most of the bottom. So it's a pretty large piece that's bent, and then it has basically this cap over the top. And what that does is it creates a joint here along the length and another one similar. Wow, these things are heavier than I thought. Along the bottom, you can see here where this line of rivets are. So what I'm thinking of doing with this one, rather than wrapping it, let me see if I can demonstrate this. Rather than having the vinyl come around and wrap the trailing edge and stop. So I usually start on the bottom, right? So I'll do the bottom vinyl first and then have it come around and stop. Then I put the top piece on, have it come around the vinyl, overlap, and then stop underneath. The problem with that is I don't know how I would do around this leading edge, right? I don't know if I would have the seam on the leading edge, do the bottom first, have it come up and stop somewhere like in the middle, and then put the top piece on and have it come around and stop, overlapping. I'd probably do the same thing on the trailing edge. I don't know, it gets kind of hokey. So here's my thought. Since this piece is laying over top of this piece, these two pieces of aluminum, there's a step right here. So I'm thinking of taking the vinyl and butting it right up against this edge. And that will in effect, not completely, but it will in effect make this surface in line with this surface. It will help eliminate this step down here. Not completely, obviously, but it will give me something to target. So I can come right up to this edge with the vinyl, wrap it around the trailing edge, and then do the same thing on the bottom.
wrap it around the trailing edge, and then have it come right up to this edge and butt it up against this edge. Then I'll take a separate piece of vinyl and I'll overlap it here, wrap it around the leading edge, wrap it around the leading edge, and then have it overlap right here. So these existing seams of the aluminum will still be here, but they may not be quite as noticeable if I can get the vinyl to lay up against this edge and then overlap it, and then have the vinyl do the same thing on the bottom. I guess that's what I'll do. I can't really think of another way to do it that would make sense. So I think I'll try that. So it's going to be a little bit difficult because I'll have to vinyl this side or the bottom. It doesn't matter at this point which one I start with. If I vinyl the bottom first, this material is going to be laid out, and then I'm going to have to flip this around and then bring the vinyl around and try not to get fur and hair and dust stuck all over the vinyl as I'm flipping it. We'll see how it works out. But I'm going to set up the camera to do a time lapse, and we'll see how things go. Talk to you guys later.